안녕하세요. 김혜영의 센토크 김혜영입니다. 한국경제연구원에 따르면 우리나라 대학들의 절반 이상이 2040년에는 문을 닫아야 할 운명이라는 비관적인 전망이 나왔습니다. 학령 인구의 감소는 인재의 수급난을 초래하게 되죠. 게다가 글로벌 기술 패권 경쟁이 심화되면서 전 세계가 인재 확보에 사활을 걸고 있는 상황입니다. 현재 우리나라는 학령 인구 감소와 우수 인재 해외 유출로 인재 수급에 비상이 걸린 상황인데요. 이렇듯 대학 교육은 국가 발전의 핵심 동력이며 국가가 미래를 준비하는 데 있어 중요한 역할을 담당합니다. 그래서 지금이야말로 우리나라의 미래를 위해서 대학 교육의 발전 방향을 짚어봐야 하는 중요한 시점이라고 할 수 있죠. 그래서 오늘은 아시아의 MIT로 불리며 세계 최고 대학들과 경쟁하고 있는 싱가포르 난양공대의 호택화 총장님을 모셨습니다. 급변하는 글로벌 기술 변화와 환경 속에서 대학 교육이 나아가야 할 방향 짚어보도록 하죠. 네, 오늘은 난양공대 총장님과 함께합니다. 어서 오십시오. 반갑습니다. 네, 영국의 대학 평가 기관인 타임스 고등교육은 지난해 7월 개교 50년 이하의 세계 신흥대학 평가에서 싱가포르 난양공대가 1위를 차지했다라고 발표했습니다. 네, 한국에서는 울산과학기술원과 포스텍이 각각 12와 14위를 기록했는데요. 사실 난양공대는 1991년에 우리나라의 카이스트를 롤모델로 설립된 이공계 대학입니다. 그러나 지금은 세계 최고의 대학들과 경쟁하고 있는데요. 자, 어떻게 이렇게 눈부신 발전을 이룰 수 있었는지 난양공대 총장님과 이야기 나눠보도록 하죠. 자, 우선 시청자분들에게 난양공대가 어떤 곳인지 소개해 주시고요. 또 총장님 소개도 함께 부탁드릴게요.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Nanyang Technological University has consistently been ranked one of the top technological universities in the world. In fact, the most recent QS World Ranking ranked NTU, Nanyang Technological University, to be number 26. Also, NTU has been consistently ranked one of the top 5 universities in Asia. For example, US News and World Report last year ranked NTU to be number 3 in Asia. Also, NTU is a young university, less than 50 years old, it's 33 years old, and it has been consistently ranked number 1 young university in the world by the THE Young University Ranking. So for me, my name is Ho Teck Hwa. I have worked in the US for 2 decades, more than 20 years. The last job was at UC Berkeley as a professor, and also I was at University of Pennsylvania at the Wharton School. So before NTU, I was a former provost of NUS, National University of Singapore, and I'm also the founding chairman of AI Singapore, a national level research program in Singapore in AI.
네, 난양공과대학교는 세계 최고의 대학 중 하나로 성장했습니다. 자, 이런 난양공과대학에 성공을 할 수 있었던 성장의 동력이라고 할까요? 그 비결이 좀 궁금한데요. 어떤 것들이 있을까요?
So there are actually 2 important factors for our rapid growth. First, our singular focus on talents. In fact, we have created an environment and a culture to welcome young professors to come to NTU. Specifically, we have designed a special scheme to attract young talents called Nanyang Assistant Professorship Scheme. This scheme allows young and rising stars from around the world to come to NTU. We offer very generous startup package up to a Singapore $1.5 million, which can be used to actually start their research project. Also, this past year, we have ramped up the number of Nanyang Assistant Professorship Scheme from normally a 10 position to 20 position in this coming year. This involves an investment up to $30 million a year for the scheme. We are also fortunate to have received many donors who give us exciting scheme to attract postdoc. For example, Eric and Wendy Smith AI in Science Postdoctoral Fellowship is a scheme that was given to us to attract postdoc to come to NTU. One thing I want to emphasize is this, that NTU we are creating an environment that's collaborative for young people to come in, and that's the reason why we appeal to them as a top university in Singapore.
네, 첫 번째 요소로는 인재를 들어주셨습니다. 인재 유치에 얼마나 적극적으로 하고 계신지 잘 알겠는데 이 때문일까요? 중국에서도 많은 중국에 있는 대학들이 난항공대의 교수님들을 유치하려고 많은 노력을 기울이기도 했다라고 합니다. 그만큼 인재 유치에 많은 노력을 기하고 계신데요. 자, 이렇게 난양공대가 세계적으로 성장할 수 있었던 첫 번째 요인이 인재였다면 두 번째 요인도 알아봐야겠죠. 두 번째는 어떤 요소들이 좀 있을까요?
So actually the second factor is its collaboration. NTU has a very collaborative culture within the university. I'd like to mention two kinds of collaboration that NTU is particularly good at. First, collaboration with top companies globally. So I'll give you an example. We collaborate with Rolls-Royce, close to 20 years of partnership. We help them to actually do advanced materials, advanced repair, data analytics, IoT for the aircraft engine. Second, we also collaborate with Hewlett-Packard in digital manufacturing and 3D printing technology. Third, we also collaborate with Continental, a German smart mobility and delivery company. Finally, we just recently worked with Hyundai in actually advanced manufacturing. And we are quite excited about this collaboration because I met with the chairman of Hyundai. We are discussing smart factory, digital twin, electric vehicle manufacturing, among all things. So this first group of collaboration is with company. The goal is to translate what we do in research into application and economic outcomes. The second group of collaboration we do is with top universities globally. In the US, we collaborate with MIT and UC Berkeley. In UK, we collaborate with Cambridge and Imperial College. In Europe, we collaborate with ETH and Technical University of Munich. In all this collaboration, our goal is to push the knowledge frontiers and create breakthroughs so that it can be translated into economic outcomes and applications for the global world.
네, 두 번째 요소는 협력이었습니다. 협력을 기반으로 해서요, 연구 결과를 상용화하고 이 부분이 경제적 가치로까지 연결이 된다라는 이야기를 해주셨는데요. 자, 이렇게 난양공대는 기술적인 중점에서 출발했지만 현재는 다양한 연구 분야에서 그 우수성을 인정받고 있습니다. 자, 이런 지적 다양성이 대학 성장에 있어서 어떤 기여를 좀 했다라고 평가하세요?
In this current world, most of the challenges and problems we face are complex and interconnected. Therefore, the solution requires to be interdisciplinary and cut across different disciplines. At NTU, we have humanity, social sciences, arts and media. In fact, the non-STEM area is one of our core strengths. I strongly believe that our strength in non-STEM actually help us to compete as a global university. At NTU, I want to actually emphasize a lot is actually we have this pioneering spirit. We have a can-do attitude that we actually among our professors. So as a result, collaboration between engineering, medical school, sciences, computing and data science, and we call it COHAS, College of Humanities, Social Sciences, Arts and Media. So we actually would like to emphasize that collaboration among all these new colleges, all these colleges are very important for NTU to succeed. In 2021, NTU rolled out a compulsory interdisciplinary collaborative core curriculum. This is for all undergraduates to take. Everybody have to take the 7 modules that was designed there so that they can be future ready for the job market and the economy.
네, 난양공대의 경쟁력 중 하나가 바로 이 산학협력이 아닐까 싶습니다. 많은 글로벌 기업들과의 공동연구센터를 유치하고 있다고 하는데요. 자, 이처럼 난양공대가 학계나 산업 파트너들과 관계를 구축하기 위해서 어떤 전략적인 노력들을 좀 하고 계실까요?
In terms of industry partnership, we are very fortunate the government of Singapore set up this corporate lab scheme. So we have many corporate labs. In a corporate lab, we have 3 parties: the company, the university, and the government support and agency. So from day one, NTU has positioned itself to be a top research translation university. So we have many corporate labs. We work with 350 industry partners in the last 10 years. And currently there are 20 corporate labs within NTU. In terms of academic partnership, we are heavily involved in the CREATE program in Singapore, the Campus for Research Excellence and Technological Enterprise. And this scheme has allowed us to work with, I was saying, ETH, TUM, Technological University of Munich, CNRS, Cambridge, Berkeley, and MIT. So all this partnership that we have allows our professors to engage with the cutting-edge research that's truly interdisciplinary. And with, in terms of academic partnership, we also work with university in joint PhD. For example, in Korea, we work with SKK University in joint PhD. We also work with joint PhD with Tsinghua University, Cambridge University, and so on and so forth. Yes.
네, 난양공대와 복수학위 학술교류 협정을 체결한 외국 대학에서 이제 수학을 하게 되면 두 학교의 학위를 동시에 취득할 수 있는 프로그램인 학위 공동 프로그램을 현재 운영하고 있다라고 합니다. 앞서서 좀 짚어주시긴 하셨는데 이 학위 공동 프로그램과 같은 이런 국제 협력 활동이 대학의 성공에 있어서도 기여하는 바가 굉장히 클 것 같거든요.
So let me just start by giving you two examples. The first example is when we started the medical school about 10 years ago. So we worked with Imperial College to have a joint degree. It's a medical school 5-year degree program. That really helped us in the last 8 to 9 years in a good way. So because of that, our medical school has instantly become quite successful. In fact, we attract the very best medical students to come to the medical school. There will be one example where joint degree really helped NTU to rise very rapidly. Second example is the Renaissance Engineering Program. This is the program that we have both the engineering students do engineering and business school. So we have worked with UC Berkeley. The student will spend 1 year at Berkeley. It's a very nice environment where it's in the Silicon Valley. So that program is our most popular engineering program because it allowed the student to go overseas for the whole year, get immersed into a very exciting and vibrant entrepreneurship ecosystem. And that program continued to be hugely successful because we work with UC Berkeley in the partnership. And currently we work with SKK University in joint PhD supervision in flexible electronics. So I see the joint degree program allow us to be both global at the same time. We can leverage on our partners' strength in our development so that we can quickly develop into a top degree program or top university that way. And so we really believe in partnership, and we believe in partners that can have the same vision, the same dream, the same ambition to want to be in the top university.
네, 지금 난양공대는 뭐 롤스로이스나 알리바바, 델타 등 그야말로 전 세계 내놓으라 하는 기업들과 연구소를 함께 구축해서 협력 활동을 하고 있습니다. 기업 연구소 모델을 굉장히 중점적으로 신경을 쓰고 계시는 것 같은데 이 부분에 방점을 찍은 이유가 좀 있을까요?
Thank you very much. So the corporate lab model is actually a private and public collaboration model that was set up by Singapore government. For example, in the case of Alibaba, is a private company, work with a public university NTU with the support of the Singapore government. And in this particular case, they work on green computing or green sustainable computing. So it is about how to make AI more sustainable. Same thing, when we work with Rolls-Royce, it's the same ideas. Rolls-Royce is a private company, and NTU is a public company. With the government support, we then create IPs for the company when they design their engines, and the car. And come back to this a little bit. This model is particularly useful for NTU. Why? Because NTU has always been very strong in research translation. In fact, when we first starting out 33 years ago, we want to be a practical university that focus on research translation. Every year now we invest $550 million in research. We like some of the research findings, IP, to become product, services, solution for a particular company that then create job for Singaporeans and Singapore economy.
네, 갈수록 지식 재산권이 더욱 중요해지는 시대입니다. 지난 5년 동안 난양공대에서는 무려 2천여 건에 달하는 이 지식 재산권, IP 창출을 좀 했다라고 하는데요. 자, 이 부분에 대한 이야기를 좀 들어볼까 합니다. 이게 어떻게 좀 가능했을까요?
So I want to actually share with you one of the DNA of NTU is the pioneering spirit, or we call it the can-do attitude, right? So our people are constantly looking for breakthrough ideas. They are insisting on tackling the most difficult technical challenges that are facing in their field. So as a result of that, because they are all, I mentioned about the Nanyang Assistant Professorship Scheme, that we have Rising Star, who is pushing the frontier. Whenever you push the frontier, you create breakthrough idea that potentially can be patentable, and that's one of the reasons why NTU has so many IP. But the second thing I want to emphasize is that the university from the beginning has always focused on research translation. Research translation means ideas, but idea is not enough. We need to convert into IP and then into a product. And so because of the huge emphasis on research translation, we generally want to create IP so that we can then translate into a product and protect the intellectual know-how. Finally, I want to actually emphasize that we actually, whenever there's IP is being licensed, the inventors get 1/3 of the licensee fee. That means they receive extra income, not on top of the salary they will receive, and we've been doing that for many years. And I want to actually emphasize that we also have a unit called Innovation and Enterprise Unit. Within the unit, we create many schemes that allow us to invest in the startup. We actually allow people to get money from us, that a grant that they can then test the idea, create a minimum viable product so they can then test it with the customers. All these are possible. In fact, recently, we worked with NUS and Temasek to create a funding scheme that is 75 million Singapore dollars. In fact, the first startup that fund invests is the NTU startup called Ampersand, which is a solid-state transformer that allows us to charge electric vehicle very fast. Also allow energy efficiency to be very high when you do transmission. So these are all different schemes within the ecosystem NTU has that encourage startup so that they can take the IP into a company, creating a powerful product that then can be sold to the customers.
네, 난양공대 성장 비결에 관한 이야기들 나눠봤습니다. 자, 최근에는 기술 변화 속도가 굉장히 빨라지고 있습니다. 게다가 전 세계적으로 학령 인구 감소라는 문제에 놓여 있는데요. 자, 이와 같은 사회적인 변화에 발맞춰서 앞으로 대학교의 미래 방향은 어떻게 설정해야 할까? 이 부분도 굉장히 중요한 이슈일 것 같습니다. 자, 갈수록 빨라지는 기술 변화에 맞춰서 대학 교육도 발빠르게 변화하고 있다고 하는데요. 자, 미래의 대학이 과연 어떤 역할을 어떻게 해야 할까? 어떻게 좀 발전해야 한다라고 보고 계세요?
So I'm going to actually highlight 3 roles that university like NTU should play in the future. First is lifelong learning. Imagine that 20 years ago people retired at 55, but now people are living longer. They will retire at 70 years old. So their work life has extended from maybe from 35 years all the way to 50 years. So for them to continue to be relevant for the future economy, continue relevant in the job market, they need to continue to learn. So university like NTU not only have to actually train people for undergraduate education, they have to provide training for a working adult for lifelong learning. So at NTU, we continue to design courses that's relevant, that's future ready for our working adult to take those courses so that they can continue to be competitive. If they change job, they go to a different company, they'll be relevant still. The second thing I actually want to highlight is that the world is actually in many ways bombarded with a lot of misinformation or disinformation. Some of the information are not true. So can university as the truth seekers be honest brokers of truth? Whenever there's a dispute, whenever there's misinformation, we are prepared to speak out the truth because we are a public university. We are the public, not-for-profit organization. We can speak our mind honestly based on science, based on what we find, the data that we find. So that's a very important role that universities should be playing. I call it honest brokers of truth. Finally, I think the world is going to be more disruptive in the coming years. There'll be new technology, new way of doing things. So as a university, we have the responsibility to help the public to navigate into new areas, to navigate into new innovation. So we have the role to help the citizen, to help the public to navigate in the very disruptive world in the future.
네, 난양공대가 이렇게 계속 발전하기 위해서는 어떤 전략적인 목표도 굉장히 중요할 텐데요. 뭔가 이를 기반으로 한 10년 후에 그리고 계시는 난양공대의 모습은 어떨까요?
So if you were to ask me in 10 years from now, what I would like NTU to be, I would like it to be one of the top technological universities in the world. Maybe the top technology in Asia, the top #1 technological university in Asia. That's the dream. So when you ask what the technological university is known for, so I would like NTU to be known for at least 4 areas. First, in artificial intelligence, AI. Currently, NTU in the US News World Reports, we are ranked #2. We will continue to invest in AI because AI is going to be a general purpose technology that will affect many areas in what we do. In medicine, in transportation, in material science, in many, many areas. So that's the first thing that we want NTU to be known for. If people think about AI, they think about NTU. Second is in sustainability. NTU have been investing a lot in sustainability. Currently, US News World Report ranked NTU Energy and Fuels to be #1. We'll continue to invest in our capability in sustainability. And it also aligns with what Singapore government wants to do. Singapore government wants to be carbon neutral by 2050. And we think we can contribute to that ambitions and goal that Singapore government is trying to achieve. Number 3 is aging. Singapore actually has now currently about 1 in 5 people are above 65. I think in Korea it's the same thing too. So we'd like to ask, can NTU play an active role in helping the government to mitigate aging problem that we are facing? So we have people who invest in AI technology that actually help aging people who have dementia. We have make them physically active. We have actually research in skin for old people will be relevant. So all these are about technology to help people to age healthily and age better. And finally, I want to mention about intelligent mobility. Currently, we work with Hyundai on smart manufacturing and future mobility, which is something that we're very excited about. We have a lot of capability in electric vehicles, Industry 4.0 technology and sensors. So hopefully this collaboration will make both NTU and Hyundai a top organization in intelligent mobility.
네, 아시아 최고의 기술대학으로 발돋움하기 위해서 지금 분주한 나날을 보내고 계신다고 하는데요. 자, 이를 기반으로 한 중요한 키포인트 중에 하나가 바로 지속 가능성 분야라고 합니다. 이미 난양공대는 이 분야에서 굉장히 활발한 리더로 활동을 해오고 있는 것도 사실인데요. 자, 이런 지속 가능성이 대학의 사명을 어떻게 이끌어왔는지 이에 대한 의견이 좀 궁금해요.
Thank you. So let me divide our efforts in sustainability into 3 areas: research, education, and what we do on campus. On the research side, we have 2 very, I would say, active and well-funded research institutes called Energy Research Institute at NTU, IREN, and NURI, Nanyang Energy and Water Research Institute. Both institutes actually deal with sustainability, both in renewable energy, recycling of battery, different way of improving energy efficiency. And that's one set of things that we do, and we continue to do that, and we will invest heavily in this in the coming years. Second is on education. We've been offering many exciting educational programs in sustainability, both in the technical side and also in social and business side that we are investing. So we launched master program in sustainability, a business school joining with engineering and so on and so forth. Finally, I want to actually talk about what we do on campus. All our buildings we call it Green Mark Platinum Certificate, which means that they are energy efficient. 100% of our buildings are energy efficient. We also had 8 buildings are net zero energy building, which means that their consumption and energy carbon and emission of carbon is actually no. The energy is net zero means that they produce zero carbon as a building. And I want to actually emphasize one thing. We are the only university that issues sustainability-linked bond. We issue a bond, 650 million Singapore dollars, that we tie our bond yield to what we achieve as a sustainability goal. By 2035, we want to be carbon neutral. We have to meet the goal. Otherwise, we have to pay a higher yield for our bond that we issue.
네, 우리가 처해 있는 문제 중 하나, 싱가포르, 한국, 양국 다 마찬가지일 텐데요. 바로 인구 감소 문제입니다. 학력 인구가 굉장히 줄어들면서 대학교 신입생도 점차 감소하고 있다고 합니다. 현재 난양공대는 이 문제를 좀 어떻게 해결하고 계신가요?
So thank you. So I think the fortunate thing is this, that people are living longer and they work longer. So as mentioned it before, we want all working adults in Singapore to be lifelong learners. So to lifelong learner, they have to learn new content, new courses, new expertise, new competency, and that's the role that NTU is playing. In fact, currently, if you were to ask me, about 80% of our learners are first-time undergraduate, so they are taking their degree, and 20% are the master and PhD. And these are people who are working adult coming here to learn again. So my goal is to change the mix from 80-20 to maybe 60-40, and that's the dream. So as a result of that, the declining birth cohort for us is not an issue, because we now have a new group of learners coming in as a working adult that we previously don't have, or previously we don't focus on. That's the first thing. Second thing we do is actually we basically leverage on, we call it the fundraising. We actually approach organizations, donors, to give money to NTU because they believe in what we do. They believe in the mission of the university, so they give money to NTU. We create endowment. The endowment will generate a return, and as a result of that, we actually can use it to fund the university. And Singapore government is quite generous. Whenever we actually raise funds, they do matching, 1 to 1.5 matching for the NTU fund. As a result, we created endowment, and we hope to build endowment quickly over time. Compared to a top university like Harvard and MIT, the endowment is very big. But most of the Asian universities, the endowment is smaller. NTU is building the endowment to be larger. Hopefully, we can reach 5 billion Singapore dollars in the coming years. That's our goal. And finally, I want to actually emphasize on international collaboration. So a lot of time, when you work with the overseas partners, they say we work with Cambridge, we actually leverage on both sides the resources that we have. So it's like creating synergy. So it is like 1 + 1 is greater than 2. It's not just 2, right? And that's the reason why we constantly seek out, we work with company, world-class university, so that we can leverage each other to grow together as a university. All three are very important to us. And for the first one, the lifelong learner, I want to emphasize one thing. We cannot just offer whatever we offer in the past. We have to be relevant courses, relevant degree that actually anticipate the future trend of the industry, so that whenever people take our courses, they can then pivot to a new job or get ready for their next job. And that's very important for NTU. Yeah.
네, 한 가지 궁금한 게 싱가포르는 사실 이제 제조업 기반이 없다라는 한계를 좀 가지고 있는 것도 사실입니다. 이 때문에 난양공대에서 이렇게 새롭게 개발되는 기술들을 어떻게 활용할까가 좀 궁금한데 앞서서도 뭐 워낙 다양한 기업들과 산업 협력을 진행하고 계신다고 해서 이런 한계를 이를 통해서 좀 극복을 하고 계시는 걸까요?
Actually, this is an excellent question, I think. It is true that Singapore has a smaller manufacturing base compared to South Korea. And remember, I mentioned the point about corporate lab, and that's the reason why we work with international companies like Hyundai, like Rolls-Royce, like Hewlett-Packard, because they can be our vehicle to translate whatever knowledge we have in advanced manufacturing, 3D printing, for example, into physical product. And that's the reason why we also work with international universities like Cambridge and like MIT and Berkeley, because at their location, they also have a manufacturing base. So international partnership is the only way for us to translate many of the breakthrough that we have, the IP that we have, into economic outcome like physical product and services that we have.
네, 난양공대는 공대지만 인문학적 소양도 굉장히 중요하게 생각하는 요소 중 하나라고 합니다. 사실 미래 사회에서 인문학적 소양이 굉장히 중요하다라는 이야기를 많이 하고 있는데 어떤 부분 때문에 이를 좀 강조하고 계시는 걸까요?
Absolutely. In fact, I think it is a myth that technology can solve all problems. Humanity knowledge will help us to think critically and creatively. That's the reason just now I mentioned that the NTU launched the interdisciplinary core curriculum. Within the core curriculum, we have how to communicate, how to actually think critically. That's an important piece of a holistic education. I also want to mention that for the technology, as the technology evolves, there are many ethical issues that is linked with human beings. For example, AI. The ethical complexity is very complex, and because as people adopt AI technology, there are many ethical issues will arise as a result of that. We need humanity and social science scholars to come in to give us the right way to think about the issue, to help us to progress. In fact, I would put it that way, that for NTU to be a truly top global technological university, we need humanity and social science to help us to compete.
네, 대학이 발전하려면 재정적인 지원도 굉장히 중요하죠. 난양공대는 국립대학교라서 정부에서 어느 정도의 지원을 받고 있을 텐데요. 정부 지원 이외에도 재정 확대라거나 지원을 위한 정책이나 운영 프로그램이 있다면 어떤 것들을 좀 갖고 계실까요?
So let me just put it that way. NTU has to diversify its revenue sources. I would say that there are 4 different sources. First, we have government support for undergraduate education that we will continue to receive, and thanks to the government's strong support. I mentioned about lifelong learning. This is a new revenue source that we have that is for working adults who continue to want to upgrade themselves and they take courses from NTU. The third is fundraising. We will raise funds from companies, from donors who give money to create endowments so that we can continue to fund the university strategic objective. And finally, I would say that it's international collaboration. All 4 are important, and we are investing in 4. In fact, a lot of my time is spent on engaging the donors and seeking out international collaboration. One of the reasons why I'm coming to South Korea is actually to work with your ministry, the city mayors, the company here, so that we can get international collaboration going on with South Korean company.
네, 시대 변화에 발맞춘 대학 교육의 미래 저희가 좀 그려봤고요. 자, 특히나 이 난양공대는 아시아의 MIT로 불리고 있습니다. 급격한 성장을 이뤘는데 다양한 성공 요인들이 있겠지만 이런 요인들을 우리나라 대학교에도 접목한다면 한층 더 발전적인 대학 교육 이뤄낼 수 있겠죠. 자, 이번에는 이와 관련된 이야기들 짚어볼까 합니다. 우리가 싱가포르라고 하면 금융과 관련된 곳이라는 이런 생각들을 먼저 떠올리실 텐데 이런 지정학적인 요건이 난양공대의 발전에 아마 기여했던 바가 크지 않을까라는 생각도 듭니다. 한국도 이런 대학과 유사한 전략을 조금 구사하면 어떨까 싶은데 이 부분 좀 어떻게 생각하세요?
Thank you. So Singapore is in Southeast Asia, and because of its size, small size, it has always been an open city and country. When I say open, it means in every aspect of the words, it means we're open to talents, we're open to trade flows, we're open to partnership, we're open to working with the world. So that's a very important element why Singapore is successful in my view. And NTU benefit from that very open policy. So for example, NTU attract talent from around the globe. We attract talent from South Korea, we attract talent from Europe, we attract talent from US, we attract talent from China, we attract talent from India, and so on and so forth. So that's a very important factor that I want to emphasize a lot. As a result of being open, NTU is also a very open university. I mentioned it many times, we have international partnership with company, with university, but I actually also want to emphasize that our professors, our students are from around the world. In fact, our professors constantly are coming every year when we hire professors, majority are coming from overseas, and that's a very important part why NTU can be so successful. And I actually want to emphasize that we are also benefited from government strong support in research and innovation. So our government has invested heavily in research and innovation for the last 5 years. We have benefited from that investment. As a result of that, we have a lot of funding support for research, and that's the reason why we're able to push the frontier of knowledge and create IPs and ideas that can be translated into economic outcome. You asked me whether, it's hard for me to give advice to Korea University, but there are many good Korea universities. I know a few, Korea University, Seoul National University, KAIST, PROSTEC, and all these are top universities. And we have been working with them, and I think they are probably as open as NTU, and I think I can see a lot of good prospects for them moving up, and they are doing pretty well in ranking too. So I'm hoping, as an appeal, that we will work together as a team. NTU maybe with Seoul National work as a team. We then work on important problems that potentially can change the world. That will be a wonderful partnership because we are both open. We would like to work as partners.
네, 앞서서도 난양공대의 성장 비결 중 하나로 이 협력 분야를 꼽아주셨는데 지금 한국과도 파트너십을 맺고 굉장히 협력을 잘 진행하고 있는 걸로 알고 있습니다. 이 부분을 조금 더 강화시킬 생각도 있으세요?
So let me just give you an interesting fact. So at NTU, the most popular location for exchange students is South Korea. Every year we have 1,500 students coming to South Korea, and there's about 1,500 going to NTU campus too. So I have to say, it is the most popular destination for our NTU students. That's the first thing. So in terms of educational exchange, we're doing very well. And I have to say that we are now looking for active partnership with the top university in Korea, including Seoul National University, PROSTEC, and also KAIST. And we are also working with the top Korean company, the Hyundai and also the Samsung. So we are looking at all possibilities. But I think one area that we are thinking is particularly promising is in research collaboration. In research collaboration, because we can then get the best brain from both countries, both your university professor and my university professor, and maybe the scientists in the company. All three parties can work together, and you might have challenges that's very difficult to solve, technical challenges that's very difficult to solve, like intelligent mobility that Hyundai is very interested in. Can we work on those problems and make the world a better place by having some breakthrough together as a group? And that's my dream, and I think it's possible. I visited in the last 3 days, I've talked to different people. The excitement is there, the commitment is there, and we just had to make things happen. And I'm quite optimistic that in the coming years, you will see an intensified collaboration between NTU and the top university in South Korea, and also the top company in South Korea too. Yeah.
네, 난양공대는 국제화로도 굉장히 유명합니다. 사실 이 부분은 현재 한국에서도 굉장히 핫한 키워드이자 이슈 중 하나인데요. 자, 이 한국 대학이 국제화를 조금 더 향상시키려면 어떤 요인들이 좀 필요하다라고 생각하세요?
So let me just emphasize it again that NTU has always been a global university. We attract talent globally. We have students coming from different countries, and we tackle on research area that has global relevance, and that's a very important thing that we do. But I would like to share what we have done. Maybe it will apply to the Korean university. And one thing actually, surprisingly, the easier way to start is actually start with the professor first, the faculty members. Because faculty members, they all want to be famous, so they will publish in top journal publication. And a way to internationalize for maybe a Korean university is to work with their partners in different parts of the world first, in research area. And one they work on the research area, they can bring the student to come in. They can get global talent who are doing PhD in different parts of the world, working with them in research area. And that's one easy way to internationalize quite easily. Another way we find useful was this, that we get students from around the globe. So remember I told you that we have undergraduate education that is majority actually local, Singaporean, because it's a public university, just like in Korea. But when we go to master and PhD, we have freedom to actually attract students from everywhere. So one potential thing to do is actually launch internationally relevant master degree program, attract talents from around the world to attend courses there and take courses there. If you want to do it, you can also join degree with another international partner so that you have can leverage on each other's strength. And that's another way to so your student body will be diverse and international. I think that's both a good way of doing it, one through research, one through education. And finally, you should leverage on your top Korean company like Samsung and Hyundai, because they are international, they are global companies. So they should be your way to work with them so that you can go global at the same time to wherever they are currently now.
네, 난양공대는 싱가포르가 5년마다 이 국가 R&D 계획을 세울 때 함께 발맞춰서 설정 목표를 좀 정한다라고 들었습니다. 이러한 목표 설정이 중요한 이유는 어떤 게 있다라고 보세요?
Of course, this is very important. In fact, I would like to actually highlight three broad strategies that NTU adopts. If you look at the Singapore R&D plan, there are 4 areas that they are focusing on. First is maximizing human potential, because we are a small country. We want to make sure everybody human potential is being maximized. Second, smart nation and digital government is about digital economy, it's about AI, it's about digital technology. And the third piece is sustainability. And final piece actually is advanced manufacturing. So NTU has always invest in talents in these 4 areas. That's the first broad strategy that we do, because we have to actually be aligned with the national priority, and our talents are in all 4 areas. And if you were to ask me, the second broad strategy is that we're also looking for the interface between areas. For example, AI applied in sustainability, do we have people in those areas? So we had to build out talent pool in all the possible intersection, like sustainability and advanced manufacturing, and also maybe AI and human potential. We have many people working on how to improve using AI to improve human potential. So these are all the intersection area. But I want to emphasize one thing in the R&D plan, that we also allow people to do, we call it curiosity-based research that's bottom out. They might be looking at the future that we don't know what is coming, but these people are betting. In fact, they are willing to push the frontiers, for example, quantum, for example, photonic. We have many people who are investing in the new area, and there are talents in new areas that they are not, I would say, currently aligned with the national priority, but they could be potential future priority that we are investing in. And this is very important. As a university, we are always looking ahead a bit in terms of the technology frontiers, and willing to actually invest talent in those areas so that we can be ahead of everybody else. Yeah.
네, 싱가포르 발전 과정에서 이 난양공대나 싱가포르 국립대가 한 역할도 굉장히 크지 않았을까라는 생각이 드는데요. 국가 발전에 어떻게 좀 기여해 왔다라고 생각하시는지도 궁금하고 향후 계획도 좀 들려주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
So I would say that the top priority is always going to be maximizing human capital. So our number one job is to make sure our graduate to be future ready. Whenever they graduated, they will find a good job. And they are always ready whenever they want to change job. They are easily pivoting to a new career and so on. That's the first thing that we'll never forget. This is one of the core mission of a public university like NTU. Second, as I said before, there are many working adults there. They might want to change job, pivot to a new career, and their lifespan is getting longer. Their work lifespan is also getting longer, up to maybe 70, 75 years old. Can we be a pillar for providing continuous education for this group of people so that they can continue to learn? So that will be I would say that's also an important goal. And finally, I would say we want to be known to be a thought leaders in a couple of areas that Singapore government is very interested in. First will be in sustainability. Second, in aging. Aging is a big issue for Singapore. We would like to contribute potential solution. There's a practical one that can be scalable to help the aged, the mature populations. And finally, AI. I believe AI is going to be a general purpose technology that will affect many, many people's lives. Can we provide thought leadership both in the technical side, also in the social science and humanities side, in how to use the technology, how to actually develop better application to help humans to be more productive. And so if I go to divide the three parts, there's a future-ready graduate, there's a lifelong learners, there's a thought leadership in key areas that the government is interested in. All three are important for us for national development, and we'll continue to excel in all three areas.
네, 끝으로 우리 시청자분들에게 하고 싶은 말씀이 있다면 한 말씀 부탁드리도록 할게요.
So maybe on a more serious note, I can offer an advice maybe to our friends in Korea. I think the world is going to be more technological. It's unstoppable, I think. The world is going to have more AI technology. The world is going to be more digital. And we see it coming. And in fact, I would say that the speed of change has increased dramatically in the last decade. 10 years ago, when people think about AI, I don't think they think AI is going to be a general purpose technology, but now it's becoming clearer for everybody. If I were to give one advice to the audience in Korea, I would just say that embrace new technology and its associated disruption. It's going to happen, but be prepared. Be prepared. Be an active participant of how technology is going to be used in the country. I always believe that many people are nervous about AI. I've been AI chairman at AI Singapore for the last 7 years. But there's so much potential to improve life of the Korean and the community. So I would rather everybody to be active participants. You have a say in what the technology is being used. Technology is quite neutral. And I actually wish the very, very best of everybody in Korea that hopefully the country will become more successful, more prosperous because they embrace the technology in the right way. And thank you very much.
네, 오늘은 난양공대 총장님과 함께했습니다. 오늘 시간 내주셔서 고맙습니다. 김혜영의 스탠토크. 네, 대학 교육은 국가의 미래를 결정하는 중요한 역할을 담당하고 있습니다. 대학 교육이 국가 발전에 기여할 수 있도록 다양한 역할을 잘 수행하기 위해서는 정부와 대학, 기업, 시민사회, 지속적인 관심과 노력이 필요하겠죠. 자, 내년이 싱가포르와 한국의 수교 50주년을 맞이하는 해라고 합니다. 경제와 교육, 과학기술 등 다양한 분야에서 양국의 협력과 발전이 함께 이루어지기를 바라면서요. 저희 센토크 오늘 준비한 소식은 여기까지입니다. 다음 이 시간에 찾아뵙도록 할게요. 함께해 주신 여러분 고맙습니다.